Mga out loud, como esta? This is Ben from Ben and Cebu. I got great news, but if you're gonna watch this video, I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible. You know, you can hopefully make it to the end, but you gotta make it to the end, otherwise none of this is gonna make sense, okay? So, check it out. It's about 4 o'clock, and I hear somebody outside going, Ben. I look out the window, and it's my neighbor / landlord / friend, whom I call the G-Man. He's like, we gotta go to that casino and get some buffet. We've been talking about it for over a year. We gotta do it. And I'm like, G-Man, I can't afford it. You know, they want 1,500 pesos just for each person. That's 3,000 for my whole family. I can't do it. And he's like, I know. But, you know, your birthday's coming up, and you know, just let me treat you. So I'm like, I tried to talk him out of it. No, he wasn't having any of it. So I'm like, okay, fine, G-Man. You know, I'll go with you. Okay? So we go over and we get the buffet, and man, oh, it was so good. I mean, I had these big, huge, fat lobster prawns. So fantastic. And I was just mouth-watering, dripping, right? So I'm sitting there, and we're all enjoying this lovely meal. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. It's great. And I can see, you know, over the casino through the windows across. And there's this sign. It says jackpot. So I'm sitting there, you know, and I'm seeing, you know, this 2.1 million pesos, and I'm like, man, what a dream that would be if I could win that. And I'm like, never happened. I never win anything in my life. But I just had this lingering sense. I was just looking at it, and I couldn't get it out of my mind. So my wife Lily, she went to the CR, you know, and she wasn't around, and you know, if she knew I didn't have any money. I had like 600 pesos in my pocket, so there's no way she would be supportive of me wasting, you know, 100 pesos to go, because that's what it cost. It was 100 per pull or push or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a gambler, so I don't know the terminology. So she kind of went off, and you know, I didn't have that kasama on my shoulder, like saying, you know, don't do it. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'll just walk over there. And look. So I walk over there, and there's like this really old lady, and she's like kind of homeless looking, and I'm like, man, that'd be awesome if she won. You know, she looks like she really needs the money. And she must have, I don't know how many pesos she wasted. She must have wasted like 2,000 pesos while I was just sitting there watching her. And so she didn't win. But the jackpot, while she was playing, had went up to 2.2 million pesos. So I'm sitting there. Nobody took her spot. You know, the place wasn't very crowded. So it was just basically me staring at this machine. And it's just lulling me in. I mean, it was almost like, you know, everything went into slow motion. I could feel like the air got thick. You know, people were smoking in the casino, and the smoke was like just lingering like a mystical cloud over the machine, and it was all swirling around it, and I don't know what happened. It was like I just couldn't get it out of my mind. I'm like, I have to try. So I approached the machine, and I'm looking around like maybe somebody else wants to play, you know, maybe they'll take my spot and then I won't play, and you know, I'll dodge this bullet and I'll save the money, right? Well, that's not what happened. You know, I had the temptation, you know, I can't resist the temptation, so I sat down in the chair. I put my 100 in, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, oh, this is stupid. I put the money in, so I had to play, right? So finally, you know, I just decided, I'll just push the button and see what happens. So I pushed the button, and I swear it was like all of a sudden I entered into like some alternate universe or something, and everything just started in like warp speed, but in reverse, like super slow. It was like, and I couldn't, you know, I was just watching, you know, the first wheel going. It seemed like it took like 2 years, and finally it set on jackpot, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then the second one hits, and it's, you know, slow motion jackpot, and I'm like, huh, okay, that's cool. Then, you know, third one rolls around, tick 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 tick, and I'm like, I had a million thoughts going through my head. You know, all in a light speed of a second, because of course, you know, it's super duper fast. And all of a sudden, boom! It hit like a freight train, and all of a sudden, lights and sirens went off, and and music started blasting, and people were rushing towards me. And, you know, the casino wasn't very full, but all of a sudden there were like 30, 40 people surrounding me, and they're all patting me on the back, and they're like, congratulations, congratulations. And me, I'm just in shock. I can't believe that this actually happened. And lo and behold, I mean, it was true, it was real. I'm looking around, double checking. Did this really happen? Did I really just win 2.2 million pesos? And you never freaking believe it, but it was true. I won 2.2 million pesos. I was in shock. It was like I had, been dosed by some magic shrooms or something. I couldn't come to terms with the reality of it. I thought I was maybe tripping, and I was under the influence. But I'm looking around, and everybody's excited. Everybody's patting me on the back, and they're all looking at me. They're not looking at somebody next to me. So, hey, it must be me that actually won. It must be true. So, I just took a moment to reflect. I hadn't said a word yet. I hadn't even reacted yet. I'm just standing there in shock, staring around, looking, in amazement. And all of a sudden, the first thing that flies out of my mouth like a cackling crow is, April Fools!